Now it's time for What's Hot. We talk about stories that have us all talking.
And today we're joined by Tracy Johnson from Tempo, Milwaukee. Plus, Jeff Wagner is back with us. Okay, let's get right into it. The FBI is claiming Russia didn't share all details on Boston Marathon bombing suspects Tamerlan Tsarnaev. At the time of the bombing, law enforcement believed that Tamerlan posed a greater risk to Russia than he did to America. And that would have added more information and helped in possibly preventing this bombing. What is your thoughts on that, Jeff?
Gee, what a surprise. Vladimir Putin's intelligence agency wasn't completely forthcoming with the United States. Who could have ever dreamed that was the case? No, I mean, this should not be surprising, but I think it is informative. Number one, we got to recognize that there is a new Cold War going on. That's number one. Number two, the FBI took a lot of criticism when this first happened. They should have known more. They should have been more aggressive. I think what we're learning is the FBI was really stymied in a lot of the investigations it was doing because people that they were trusting to provide them information weren't.
Do you ever get the sense at all that the FBI is maybe blaming the fact that they don't have a good relationship with Russia? I mean, isn't there a different standard when we're talking about the international intelligence community and being able to share information that will put the entire world at risk? I almost feel like this is the FBI kind of passing the blame on this.
Well, I think what the FBI is doing now. I mean, there have been occasions where the FBI, in retrospect, has been criticized greatly about, you know, why didn't you know more? I mean, Fort Hood, that's a classic example. Why couldn't we tell now that we find all these different things out? In this particular situation, I think what the FBI is doing is, I don't know if it's passing the buck, but they're saying we were depending that we were going to get this information. They didn't give it to us, and as a result, we just didn't know as much as we should have.
Well, and whose responsibility is it now to say we are acting in a global terrorism world, and this is on all of us to make sure that we're all on the same page, whether we agree with each other or not on other issues like our disagreements with Russia.
But it's clear that Russia doesn't agree with us. I mean, not only looking at this situation, but other situations as well. I mean, you can't ask someone to play fair if they don't want to play at all.
Yeah, you can't trust them. Yeah, exactly.
But how interesting will this be when the tables turn? And would the U.S. ever take this approach when we're dealing with an international terrorist? I think that we need to rise above some of those issues. It's not really my place to make that happen, but maybe we can figure this out. Maybe this is a perfect example to start talking about that.
And then while you're at it, maybe we can talk Mr. Putin into trying to stand down around the border of Ukraine so, you know, we don't have the world at risk.
We've got a lot on our plate. But you know what? We are going to come back with our next topic, which will be the viewer's choice topic of the day.
And Michael Fish is back with another look at your forecast.
And it's our viewer's choice topic of the day.
Again, we're joined by Tracy Johnson and Jeff Wagner of 620 WTMJ. Today's viewer's choice topic, here it is. An Orioles baseball player is not too pleased with fans running onto the field. In New York Tuesday, 2 fans ran on the field during a game. Adam Jones went on a rant and said they should let baseball players have a shot to kick them. Now, should baseball players be able to kick fans who run out on the field?
Who is this guy? Why would you want to kick a fan? You have basically a weapon on your foot, these spikes, that you could seriously injure someone, let alone yourself. I mean, think about what could happen if you got into a tussle with a drunk fan who's coming out on the field. This isn't NHL hockey.
Okay, I think baseball players, football players, basketball players, you get one of these idiots that runs onto the field. Anything that happens to them, they deserve. This is sort of scary.
Fair game, huh?
No, well, exactly. Well, first of all, in today's day and age, you're a second baseman. Somebody comes running at you. You don't know if they're armed. You don't know what can happen. Hey, I'm old school. There used to be a linebacker who played middle linebacker for the Baltimore Colts. His name was Mike Curtis. He was a throwback to Nitschke and Butkus. I remember some idiot runs onto the field while they're playing. He just hauls off and clotheslines the guy, knocks him completely out. That's the way you handle these things. If more of these guys do it, they will stop doing this. It's a dangerous situation.
But now we're no longer talking about baseball or football. We're talking about wrestling.
Well, again, see, here's what's going to happen, though, in all seriousness. I mean, this is a crazy world. And, who knows when somebody, comes onto the field and jumps on, maybe they're just trying to get on television, but you don't know if they're armed. You don't know what could happen, and this could be bad. Take them out. That's what I say.
Well, I don't think setting that expectation. We disagree.
We'll
weapon.
agree to disagree?
We'll agree to disagree.
All
I don't
right.
think the baseball players should insert themselves.
Knock them out.
Okay, well, let's move on to our lightning round. Let's see if we can knock this one out. Google Glasses could be headed to the U.S. Army. One reason is to see how it could be used to help treat minor injuries while keeping an eye on the vital signs of patients who are in critical condition. Another use, soldiers could get live video feeds from drones. Will Google Glasses be useful in the military? I'm sorry, this just seems like a lot of distraction to me.
Well, I think you have to be trained to do it. At the same time, I mean, I think this is the new battlefield front. I mean, it's kind of like moving into the stuff that we just used to see in the science fiction types of things. But if you look at some of the uses they have for the field medics or whatever, if this helps the soldiers do their job, I'm all in favor of it.
Well, yeah, and it freaks me out a little bit to think that your mind could control these glasses and things like that, and where's the accountability or the liability if something goes wrong. But, you know, to your point, Jeff, I mean, the battlefield is being fought with drones. The battlefield, or the wars are being fought, you know, not necessarily on the battlefield. So I think great if the U.S. has this technology, but now the thing is when the other guy gets this technology.
Mm-hmm.
Good point, yeah.
Well, that does it for this topic, but you know what? The conversation always continues online. You can find that page at tmj4.com/hot.
And coming up.